lower down the music real quick, and we're going to do this little fade. What's going on, everyone? Hopefully you're doing well. I am indeed now known as not Bird Dog John. What's happening? Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for stopping on by here today. We are live on YouTube and on Twitch. We are using a little bit different encoder these days. So I built this new machine so I could send this up to YouTube over AV1 to give it a try. We've done 3 shows now, I think, with it. So far so good. Enjoying the increased performance and really kind of like revamp. I do this every 3 or 4 months where I revamp my workflow process anyways, but offloaded all of the ingest to my old machine that I had built, and now bringing that all over via NDI primarily into vMix. And so that's been an interesting process, and I'll talk to you about a couple of issues that I had this morning. But yeah, we will go from there. YouTube is giving me an error saying not getting enough video to maintain a smooth stream. However, this is the same amount that I always send it. So let me know if you get some buffering. What's going on, Angus? Good morning. I am doing pretty well. Good to see you. You look and sound just like that, John, but you're a different John. It's true. I am indeed not Bird Dog John. Maybe that's how I should, because I always used to do fake endorsements on that show. And today, because of the title, we are enjoying some coffee this morning. And that means today's show is not brought to you by Ember Mugs. Keep your coffee hot and your creamer curdled. So I got some coffee in the Ember mug, but I got to drink it because it'll create a bit of a film on the top with the half and half. This mug is great for drinking coffee and tea without any additives. So outside of that, you have to keep the temperature really low so that it doesn't do any of that. So it's the extra O on the end. That's got to be it. It's true. It's true. I had a friend in high school and in college. We went to the same schools, and she used to call me Jono, and that just kind of always stuck. And so that ended up, it stuck for certain friends. I mean, when I grew up in Southern Ontario, all the people that were in my community and that helped raise me and everything called me Johnny. But then when I moved to the States, there was already a Johnny in the community that I was in. And so I was not permitted to be that. So I ended up being John. But that friend of mine from high school was also at college, and she continued to call me Jono. So that's where that name comes from. It really has no significance whatsoever. So, yes, we are up and running here. Coffee. Today is coffee, NDI, and vMix. And I just want to talk about a couple of things real quick as we kind of kick off, because I've had a couple of issues with my setup. And I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I'm willing to take some criticism for how I have this set up. Because now, instead of just having a well-funded and pretty robust network in Auburn Hills, Michigan, now I'm doing this all myself, like everyone else is. And so I've been removed from the game for, I don't know, what is it, 8 months, 9 months now, almost 9 months. And now I'm getting back into doing NDI stuff. And so here we are struggling away with trying to just get this to talk correctly. Now, one of the issues right out of the gates is the old computer that I have is basically headless. Now, today I have it on a monitor above my system. So I have 3 monitors here, and then I've got another one that's above the whole rig. And that monitor is showing a single screen output from the old PC. So the general issue is I remote into that computer via remote desktop. Well, last week I was having some NDI issues and decided that and I got buffering over on YouTube. I was having some NDI issues and decided that I was going to take that computer offline and just send it over in a private NDI network over what I'm calling the 10 network. So VLAN 10 NDI, it's my 192.168.10 network. So I was sending that over via fiber to my 4250 that's here in the rack. And This morning, I logged in at about 9:15 to start setting up for all of this. And lo and behold, that network card was not getting an IP address. Now, it was getting an IP address last week because I had everything running on the same network. But this week, it's showing up as unidentified. So it may be the network card. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That's not, because it doesn't appear to be the switch. The switch is issuing a 10 network to this computer, which is also connected to that over fiber. So pretty sure I have a network card issue with this guy. I'm pretty sure I have a network card issue with the new computer. So I have a dual fiber connection here in the new machine. But whenever I try and disable both the ports, it errors out. So it basically doesn't let me disable one. And then if you try and enable it, so you can disable one of them, but not both of them. And then when you try and enable the one that was disabled, it also errors out. So we got a driver issue there, I think, that I'm going to have to sort out. But I spent probably a couple of hours last week looking for drivers and everything and did not have much success. So I'm going to have to dig into Reddit and a few other places to really find out what's going on with that. But this network card that I have in the other machine, in the old machine, has never really given me major issues until now. And so the way that I'm doing this today is I'm connected to my overall network, my larger network, and it is being issued addresses, what I would refer to as my 77 network. Now, all of that data can go over the 4250, so that's not really an issue, but it does become a bit of an issue when we start talking about pathways. I'd like them to be isolated, and I want them to be relatively clean. So it doesn't really, it's not working yet. The theory is there, but the actual execution is not there. And mostly, I believe, because network drivers. So there we go. That's how that's going. So this is just over Ethernet. Does it work better if you just simply unplug one? So that's the thing is, I unplugged the other network. I unplugged the main network in my house and just was using the NDI network between the old computer and my 4250, and it was not being issued an IP address. And when I looked at the 4250, it said it wasn't even connected at all. But on the old computer, it was saying unidentified network. So something's up. Something's obviously not working right now. One thing I did on that computer is that I set it up so that it would be forced to use a gig connection, because the network card is an SFP plus card, but the connection, the actual DAC between the two, is only a 1 gig, and that's a 10-foot cable, so that's not going to be a distance issue. But it was a 10-foot cable, and it's an SFP port on the 4250. So I wanted to tell the computer, hey, limit it to, don't auto-negotiate, just limit it to 1 gig. And I wonder if all these reboots and everything have basically caused it to, I don't know, start working correctly. I don't know, like being able to auto-negotiate. So what I'll do is I'll go to advanced. I should show you this, eh? So let's go ahead and throw this up on the screen so that you guys can kind of follow along. So here is computer number 1. And if we go over to link speed, see, I have a value set at 1 gig, which is really what I want. So if I say auto negotiate and hit OK and then enable, who knows what? Also, my camera feed is coming over the 77, the home network. This one right here. This is the path right now. But this has been the issue, is we've got unidentified network showing up here. And so I'm not too sure why it's not taking one. So here is that switch. I'm going to have to refresh this. And this is the port that is in port 12. And in port 12, if we say port configuration, I don't know about this new design, Netgear. This is kind of clunky now. I don't particularly like it, but whatevs. So if we say port 12, we light this up. Let's say old PC. And then all of this is fine. Auto negotiate. I'm not too sure. Let's say, and then If I save this, is it going to dump me? Let's find out. Success. So now, let's wait and see if 12 kicks on. It's currently not showing any activity on the actual switch side. Let's go back to port configuration and just verify that we did limit the speed on port 12. Wait. Hello? Why is it still stuck in auto? Oh no. Am I missing something here? If I hit apply, should that not then... Oh boy. Well, that's interesting. Why is it not applying? I think actually that's the problem right there. Now, this switch did get reboot this morning because I thought, well, we'll give it a reboot and see how that works. But I actually think it's trying to negotiate. The computer is requesting a 10 gig connection and is trying to negotiate a 10, so it's just saying no. But this is strange that... What do we think the issue is there? If I say 10, okay. Is there a save button I'm missing? Nope. See, this is why I don't like this. It's not... I got a nice big 27-inch screen, and this thing, it requires me to use this. I hate that. It was better the way it was before, guys, if anybody's watching. But if I hit apply, what do we think the story is here? Why didn't it apply it? Why isn't speed and duplex available? It's available here. Full apply. Oh boy. Yeah, it's not good. Okay, so wouldn't be in the network profiles, right? I don't think. Nope. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Is it plugged in at all? Yes. The connection is there, which is why the network port comes up as unidentified, because it shows life on, like, something's there. But I actually do think, because last week I changed it, I changed that to 1 gig and it started working. So actually I'm pretty certain that's what it is. Where are we here? Here we go. So why do we think that I'm not permitted to change the settings on that switch or on that port? And why is it grayed out here? Also an interesting question. Oh, they're all grayed out. If I say all ports, 1000, because it's all gigs, right? It didn't change anything. Didn't change any of those options. They're all stuck in auto. Why is that? Okay, so let's try something else here. Let's go into the main UI and give this a go. All right, so now let's, yeah, it's fine. Now we are going to go to, is it switching or routing? Always forget. Ports, port 12. Oh, check that out. Okay. And then if we go back to here, we say properties, configure, advanced, link speed, 1 gig, hit OK. Still unidentified. And nothing showing up on the switch. Interesting. I wonder what the story is there. Physical status unknown. configuration has been saved. That's very interesting. So on the actual switch side of things, it does say that it is running at 1 gig. It just doesn't show the status. It shows that the link is down. Very interesting. You broke it. I sure did. I sure did. Not too sure what I did, but I definitely broke it. Oh, boy. Oh, hey. So, in other news, I have a new chair showing up today. For if anybody from the Bird Dog office is watching, it's the same one that I had back then. The saddle stool, which I gave to Ryan. Not too sure if he still has it, but I think it's out for delivery. I will verify that. But hey, that's exciting. New chair. Mostly because my back has been jacked up because I've been spending so much time at this computer. And so I'm looking forward to having a different, looking forward to having a different chair. Yes, it is out for delivery. Should be here by 9 p.m. So who's delivering that? Oh, UPS. Oh, it'll be here before 9 p.m. Cool. All right. So Angus says, okay, humor me. You will be humored. Unplug and replug the DAC on both ends. Okay, well, I already did that on the computer side. I will do that again, but I will need to crawl under the desk in order to make that happen. So give me 2 seconds. So the link lights actually are on the computer, which is fascinating because they're not on at the on the switch side. So it's as if the computer is good to go, but on the switch side it doesn't seem to like it. And I wonder that maybe I've got a cable issue. Maybe. It's not a super cheap cable. I mean, it's like $30, but it's still, oh, not that coffee. Yuck. It's still $30, but still should be working. So I'm going to go with no. I've got nothing on the switch showing activity. I am a little concerned that on this UI, we don't show what I have selected here. Why is that listed as auto? Admin mode, this is all fine. Anyway, so that's been kind of the drama today because I would prefer to just have that computer offline. The issue I have is that then I can't use remote desktop because I don't have any internet on that network. So what I do there is I have it on this one screen, and then I have one of these Logitech MX Master Business mice and keyboards that allow you to connect to multiple computers at once. Super helpful, super fancy, and yeah, it's still connected to that Bluetooth over there. So I'm able to make that all happen. I wonder if there is like guy. I uploaded the firmware. I didn't activate it. All right. If I kill this thing, though, there's a good chance I'm going to disappear from the network. So, why not? Successful. I probably have to restart it in order for that to take effect, right? Let's find out. Yes. Where is the... Why isn't it running the late... Okay, so we get a firmware problem here. Okay, firmware version. Now it reads out that it's on the right one. But if we go back... Oh, it says that one's active. Okay. Well, maybe I should go back to the other one. Because evidently that was the one that was working. Well, I don't know. I have to think about that because I'm not really too sure why that port is off when it was working just fine last week. I don't think I did a firmware update on this switch. Maybe I did, but maybe I can't remember now. It's been a while. IP address Netgear 201, and this guy is 249. Who is this? I think that is the network port for the new machine. Okay, so let's get on with some of the workflow stuff we can talk about real quick. So the idea is on this machine, I've got multiple things running that are basically generating NDI. The first one is VLC. The VLC plugin that is provided by NDI, it used to be NewTek, works actually surprisingly really well. And I really like that in vMix we can just bring in NDI audio only inputs, which means that it's just a music channel. And as this runs, the video or the audio output is going to be set to the NDI audio output. So anything you play will go out, will make its own NDI channel, be called VLC. So then you can bring that over and let this machine run your music, which means it's one less thing that the main machine has to use. Now, granted, that doesn't take very much processing power to do, but again, one less thing is one less thing. So VLC is running with an NDI option, and then my camera is plugged in to this computer. So the Canon is plugged into this computer, and that's running in a program called NewTek Connect, which for the life of me I can't find online. I don't know if somebody from inside the company gave this to me or what. But basically, this little program turns USB into NDI and then ships it across the network. So this is generating NDI. And then I have Studio Monitor, which is kind of monitoring things. Oh, is that on the second screen? Yeah, it is. Studio Monitor, which is monitoring things. And that can also generate NDI, by the way. So that's pretty neat. Which is also on another screen, but I only have one monitor, so that's going to be a problem. Anyways, and what I found out too is this is my X32 core edit software, and as you can see, it's able to watch and manipulate the channels. And what's crazy about that is I can run it here, but I can also run it on my main machine, and they work together and they reflect the changes I make regardless. So I can put it on one screen over here and one screen over here, make changes, and it changes over there. So digital soundboards are the way of the future. Actually, it's currently the way. So it's not even the future; it's the way of the present. So I love that. This little software works really great, and I have had lots of success with that. This has nothing to do with NDI. But anyways, we're shipping all of those NDI sources. Now this machine is running pretty low. We can check out the task manager and just actually look at the CPU usage. Now, this is not running vMix, and the CPU is still running at 50%, which is insane. So happy that I can utilize this and, make good use of that CPU still. But, and what's the GPU running at? Nothing. The GPU is doing pretty much nothing at this point. So I can still utilize 50% of the CPU on this machine and ship that out on the network. And then on this side, we are running something like... Now, I'm running Bridge because of my issues that I was having this morning. So NDI bridge is running just to convert all the stuff over. However, this camera shot is just the straight NDI source. It's not coming through NDI bridge. So it is working over the network. I just got to get the networks talking correctly and the network cards to work. So, baby steps. All right. So bridge is running just to convert things locally. No transcode involved. But my CPU is running at pretty much 1% on this new computer. My GPU is running at 41% or 31%, which is my RTX 4060, which I bought recently, and that box is now gone. Oh, here it is. Oh, nope, that's not it. That's the motherboard. Anyways, so that brand new GeForce is running in here, and it is doing a wonderful job handling 3 screens, vMix, AV1, all that sort of good stuff. I've also noticed with this graphics card, which I think is odd, that, okay, so the GeForce 970 was the bare minimum for VR, for HTC Vive. It actually still is. So the 970 ages ago, there was a controversy with that graphics card because it claimed to be 4 gigs, but it was really 3.5 because 500 megs was reserved for onboard processing. And so technically you only had 3.5. And when I bought it many years ago, that was the big controversy around the 970 graphics card. I have 2 of them, which vMix doesn't like. It doesn't like dueling GPUs. Everybody knows that. But I have 2 of them in there, more so for graphics processing for gaming and VR headsets and stuff. So it worked pretty well. It generated a ton of heat. Like this, my old office, I would sweat in because it was so warm. But the dual 970s, when you really got them doing something, they really got very sweaty. So what? Go Web, what's going on? Greetings. How are you and Sanaya doing? Nice to see you again. Okay, so those 970s, those duals, and originally I bought them because there used to be something called an SLI bridge, which is now irrelevant. So I bought those 970s to SLI them together and run them as 7 gigs on the same processor. Come to find out, vMix doesn't play with dueling processors, and the SLI technology really didn't go anywhere. And so that was a bummer. But anyways, I ended up not using that. Now I have the 4060, which is not the top of the line, okay? It's top of my budget. And so not necessarily top of the line, and it's top of the line for what I can afford. But man, this thing, you really do notice a big difference. And one of the differences I noticed, oddly enough, was the processing power with the VR. So the 970s were the base minimum for VR. But with this 4060, and I may just be like maybe in the honeymoon phase of all this, but I think things look a lot sharper and like a lot cleaner. So Google Earth, for example, the Street View, even the renderings of the Earth and the 3D views and the flying around and all that stuff, everything just looks sharper. Now I have a weaker internet connection here than I did in Clarkston, and so it's a little slower, but when you go into people's photos, like Street View or photos that people have uploaded, I just think it looks sharper. Matter of fact, I also think my own videos that I have done with the Insta360 Evo, which is also a defunct camera, I think they look blurrier because I think they look worse because the processing power of the 4060 is able to maximize the HTC Vive Elite headset. And now my videos, they run smoother, but I think they don't look as good as they did on the 970 because the processing power is so much better than what it was. And so on the native VR headset things, everything looks great. Everything looks better. And then from the other side of things, my own rendered videos and what of family vacations, those do not look as I'd say they're at least the same, if not a little bit worse, just because the overall rendering is a lot cleaner. So it's an interesting problem to have. I'm I'm fine with it. You may recall in the past that I have flirted with the idea of buying the Insta360 1-inch camera. However, that has now been discontinued. So, okay, that's fine. If it's discontinued, I really hope they come out with another 1-inch lens camera, but I haven't seen anything recently. Hey, I've missed a lot of your live shows. I'm not getting notifications from YouTube. Sanaya is doing fine and waving. Hi, Sanaya. Hopefully you've had a good day. You should be rounding out the end of it at this point. So nice to see you guys again. A little strange that you're not getting notifications, but it's a different channel. So double check that bell icon. But it's Thursdays at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, because I'm in Tennessee now. So I moved down to Tennessee, and that's where I be. Yesterday, here's another fun little story. Yesterday, I decided that I wasn't in my 40s, that I was still in my 20s, and I was going to change the brakes on my truck. My goodness, what a saga. So the brakes have been grinding, and the pads were on the driver's side completely gone. So I stopped everything. I ordered brakes. I was going to have somebody do it, and I thought, you know what? I've done these before. I can do them again. The driver's side brakes came off, no problem. Very, very easy, pad exchange, put new rotors, new pads, all good. Oh, stream issues. Hold on. Like clockwork, my satellites are changing evidently. All right, sorry everybody. So decided that I was going to do my own brakes. The driver's side actually went swimmingly fine. Only took me about an hour, and then that one was done. Went around to the passenger side, which still had some meat on those pads, and it took me all day. Like, I started the brake job at 9:15 a.m. Central Time, and I ended it at 5:15. Also, 5:15. So I took a whole business day to get them done. It was absolutely ridiculous. I can't find anything about the 1-inch being discontinued, out of stock on 360, but B&H has them. Yeah, that's what I mean, though, is like the Evo is technically not discontinued, I don't think, or maybe it was, but it was out of stock for 6 months before they announced it. And the 1-inch, they've been rumoring about the 1-inch kind of being end of life. There have been rumors, and now they don't have any on the Insta360, so they're not making anymore. So, the last step is maybe like running out of stock at B&H. But I absolutely love mine. I know, and I think I would really love mine if I had one. But I don't, and I'm a little bit nervous. I'm going to place an order, and they're going to announce another one. Ouch. Yes, it took all day. It was brutal. But you know what? Hammering a rotor and smacking like with basically a mallet or a sledgehammer to try and get that thing off the rotor, it was welded on there, and it took me all stinking day to get that thing off. I had to soak it in WD-40. I torched it a bunch. I tried all sorts of things, and eventually I got just like overly aggressive with it and hit it with a sledge. So thankfully I didn't break anything else, but it's a little bit dangerous doing that. So and do you know why I bought mine? Because of you, Knudsen. Yes. I don't even get any kickbacks for that. I just get somebody saying that I made a recommendation. I'm glad that you liked it, though. I'm glad that you like it. I think that, so the X4 is the latest 360 camera, right? But it is a 360 camera. It's not, I mean, so is the 1-inch, but I think it's the 360 1-inch. I still think outperforms the X4, whatever it's called. And I still think it outperforms it in low light, which is one of the key things that I'm paying attention to, because I've done low light on my Evo and it was not great. Now, I might be splitting hairs here, but but yes, it was a bit of a doozy trying to shoot low light with my Evo. Can you suggest a good mesh router setup for home networks? Well, for years I used the Google system. Like I used just the Google. They're calling them Nest now, but it was Google Wi-Fi back there. They had those little round satellites. I moved away from those. They were consistent, but I moved away from those because I kind of don't really necessarily want to give Google too much more free information, and they're basically just using it against you at this point. So I didn't really feel comfortable having them monitor all my network traffic and everything too. I moved to a Netgear Nighthawk system that works pretty well, but I wouldn't say it's as good as the Google Mesh system. So this is the Nighthawk what system is this? Hang on one second. Orders, Nighthawk. Just give me a quick Nighthawk. Whoops, sorry. So this is the MK73 packet. It's basically 2 satellites and a router. I have purchased additional satellites as well, although they're a little bit harder to come by. The newer ones are obviously more available than this one is, but I find it to be fairly good. I've got quite a large, like, open space house, and so I definitely needed additional satellites. And so I ended up running a router with 3 additional satellites in my house, one up here, one in the hallway, down the hallway, upstairs, and then one in the master bedroom, which is kind of far away from where the router is. So the router covers kitchen, dining room, living room. I have one in the master bedroom that's pretty consistent. That covers master bedroom, master bath. And then up here I have one in the office, which is purely for the bonus room. And then one that's down the end of the hallway for where my daughter has her room. And so the bonus room one covers my son's room, but he's not really doing any internet stuff right now because he's pretty young. So my daughter has one near her room, and that seems to cover it pretty well. I also run like Wi-Fi security cameras. I'm also running a lot of like, not that they're Wi-Fi, but I'm doing a lot of like Z-Wave stuff, smart home stuff. And so those all talk on different frequencies. What I did notice is that I had a Wi-Fi band, 7.2 and 7.6 gigahertz band network for my stereo system downstairs, because the builders of this house did not put any low voltage in anywhere. I don't know why. It's 2024, everybody. So I was trying to make the connections via Wi-Fi, and it did not work. So that was unfortunate. But and I noticed that it greatly interfered with the Wi-Fi internet connection. They were all on the same band, so it was getting too crowded. So it's bad times when the rotor comes off in 5 pieces. Yikes. Yes, thankfully it didn't shatter on me. But see, that rotor still had some like brake pads left on it, some meat on them. Not much, but it still had some. And so that rotor wasn't worn down as badly as this one was. But I think the constant, like I drove it probably 3 days with, not very far, not like maybe a half an hour, but I drove it maybe 3 times with the grinding sound, and then I just parked the truck and we've been using one vehicle. But I think that metal on metal grinding had broken the rust, that weld on the driver's side, and so the other side was still fine. But yikes, man, that was a doozy. So tried to clean it up, and got the new rotors on eventually. I live in a kind of a new developed area of an older neighborhood, and so all the neighbors came by, and it was quite a day. So my hands, I can't make very strong fists because I was reefing on breaker bars and swinging sledgehammers and stuff. So my hands are very sore and my joints are very sore. But satellite connected via Wi-Fi or cable. So the satellites are all 2x2 MIMO or MIMO connections. So many of them, all of them are actually wireless. And then they do have an option to, the satellites have a port on the back so you can go out, but not in. So I have a few switches, just small, don't tell anybody, but unmanaged switches down in other rooms that are connecting to other hardline devices, but they're not really doing anything significant. The joys of aging. It's true. Yep. So I am a little bit older now, and I used to get pretty sore when I did brake jobs before, but man, it's been a while since I've done brakes. So glad it's over. I won't have to do that for a little bit longer, 30,000 miles or something like that. But here's hoping. I don't drive my truck very much because I work from home, and so it's kind of nice. Like I put gas in it every other week now. That's pretty nice. I'm spending the money on living in Tennessee, but I definitely have enjoyed not having that. Oh man, this coffee, jeez, is staying warm. But you know what that means? It means I'm getting that film on the top of my coffee, unfortunately. Which is, I don't really care too much, but it like sticks to your teeth. It's gross. So what you do is you just dab it here, and then you take that film off, and you should be good. But don't look too closely. All right. So did anybody else notice anything from IBC that was announced that I didn't cover? I spent most of the last show talking about bird dog stuff. And quite frankly, I mean, at the end, I don't know how that all came across. I am very excited for them. I think the X4 is it's a good looking camera. I'm not 100% sure of its use case. I haven't spoken to the sales team yet. I normally follow up with them after a show, so maybe sometime next week. Just to kind of get a gist of how things went, and listen to Bird Dog always has a positive reception at trade shows, and so I'm not worried about that at all. For them, I'm pretty excited actually, but I think the X4 is a great little camera. I'm not 100% sure who it's for, but even if it's just kind of a filler for the general market. No. Did my camera turn off? Hang on one second. What I'll do is I will show you this screen, and let's find out what is going on. It must have turned off. Hang on. That's weird. The lens is on, so maybe I don't know what's going on here. It's like the lens is off, but no, wait, the lens is open, but it's not. It's almost like the power died. Oh, the power died. Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. Whoops. Okay, I completely forgot. Completely forgot that this thing is running off of a DTAP battery. So the battery must be totally depleted in order for it to die like that. Fascinating. Okay, let's see how quickly it turns back on. I have now plugged direct power into the battery, so if anything, it should power the camera at least. Let's see what happens. Yeah, you broke it again. Yep, I sure did. All right. Well, that's cool. Not too, of course I can't see the battery screen because on the backside it just says um or it's pointed to the wall. I almost need like a mirror or something so that I can check it out. All right, so let's just real quick here. Did anybody see anything else from IBC? I can clear my little thing here until it comes back. Did anybody see anything at IBC that was announced that I missed? Because definitely checked out like Blackmagic Design, not blackmagic.com. And the only thing that I could tell was this little monitor came out for the new camera. I would really like to see this camera. And I think if, with any luck, I'm going to try and get to NAB next year and have a look at it. And I want to bring my employer and have him look at it too. Because if we could see it, this might be the next logical step for us in terms of professional gear. Semi-professional, because it is Blackmagic after all. But this is really cool, but they announced the little screen that goes with it. I particularly like all these mounting options and all the extra things. I like that it comes with the option for an EF mount. Same price, just different mount, because we have EF lenses in our house and we might as well buy all the same so they can fit all of our cameras. So the fact that they're all the same, makes sense to me. But 247 looks odd. I made it 250. I didn't see much of anything. 247? What did I miss, Go Web? I didn't see a lot of announcements or stuff though. Like I thought maybe we would see more, anyways, I thought we would see more, but I guess not. I guess that just wasn't in the cards. So yeah, anyways, Blackmagic, and then of course Bird Dog, and they had their announcement. I actually had these opened already. Where are they? Here we are. So with the X4, and again, I want to circle around with some of our, I want to circle around with some of our people at Bird Dog, some of now just my former colleagues and now friends, just to see what it was that, what they're excited about, really. Oh, subscribers. Oh, thanks. Well, that's cool. How did you do that? Did you find three friends? That'll make my stats look amazing. Hey, look at that. Power's back. All right, so that was a mistake on my part, everybody. So sorry about that. I saw Bird Dog X4. I saw Blackmagic with their new monitor. What else did we see at announcements? Let's just see what people said. Press releases for IBC. Here's what I was kind of underwhelmed with. I watched a pre-show for IBC, and they were like, "What's everybody looking forward to? What's everybody looking forward to?" And the guy said, "Well, I think the big expectation this year is going to be AI." And I was like, that was NAB. That shouldn't be your expectation as well. You shouldn't have the same expectations of a previous show. Maybe people who didn't get to Europe, didn't get over to Las Vegas, and they can only get to Europe. Okay, fair enough. Maybe we want to see the AI stuff, but I don't think that should be the headliner for your show, because that was a headliner for the other show on the other side of the world. That's basically your direct competition. Now, what I did hear is that IBC's attendance was up, which is pretty cool. So that's great if that's true. We will be back 12th through 15th September. Okay, so that's next year. Whoa. That person's moving. That's creepy. So where is the part that says like oh, here, rewards. Find out more. Or awards. All right, who won? Let's look at that. Here's something. National Hockey League's Intelligent Broadcast Edge, the NHL, in partnership with Verizon, Amazon, VizRT, whatever this is, Net Insight, blah, 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 for producing a 5G and edge compute framework for assembly, control, and delivery of a live broadcast. Okay. Really? The Sesame Workshop won something? I'm looking for, like, products. Okay, so this was Innovation Awards. Clearly. Content creation. Content everywhere. All right, so nothing really helpful there. Let's go back. Let's just see if there's anything here that's useful at all. Because who knows? Is Bird Dog thinking about some AI models? So their, from what I could tell, their AI integration was the the next level of auto tracking in their cameras. That's kind of their thing for AI this year. And I really want to try the X5. So here's hoping that I'll be able to get my hands on one of those, because I can put it in a couple of situations where live tracking might be very beneficial. Do a head-to-toe shot of somebody on stage and it follow them around. I'd be all about that. As long as it doesn't get super confused about, like if it loses a subject or if there are two subjects on stage, I don't want it to get confused on that. But the auto tracking would be fun. I would love. So in our environment, we have a very young production crew, and I don't mean young in terms of age. I mean young in terms of, physical age, people age. I'm meaning they're pretty new at it. And so we're integrating slowly. We're trying new things slowly, all of that. What I would love is to have a follow cam that's basically just, does it itself, and I don't have to think too much about it. But it can't be cam control AI tracking, because that's not good enough. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the X5 can do, because evidently it's basically 2 steps removed from central control or more in terms of intelligence and ability. And if it's anything, if it's that good, then we might be able to integrate it into a broadcast situation, which would be great. So very interested in that. But that's basically what Bird Dog's doing with quote unquote AI. And whether or not it's AI, like, I don't know if it's artificial intelligence or if it's just auto tracking. So that would be AT. Anyway, I was pretty happy to see the Bird Dog team that they had there were some of the heavy hitters, and so that was great. I can pull up. Oh, am I not logged in here? No. Where did they post this? Was it like Facebook, or it's probably LinkedIn? But Bird Dog. Let's just look at their page. Wait, they have a page, right? What's going on here? There we go. All right. IBC recap. Ooh. Here we go. Okay. It said Ultra. Still got the keyboard there. Teleprompter. Is that Robbie? Who made that video? Here's to another amazing IBC. A massive thank you to our customers and partners. Very own Bird Dog Cream. One for the books. Okay. Well, that was some cool shots. The music is relentless. It's true. I wonder who they took to make that video. I'm glad that there's some video of them at IBC. I feel the need to do better in my own personal like stuff when we do a gig or whatever, like to make better content, because to use the opportunities that you're provided with to the maximum ability that you have, mostly because I feel like when you go to a trade show, take your sales team. That's important, but don't miss the opportunity to show the like the human element of your company. And that showed all the cameras, and it showed the cool setup and the lighting and the booth and everything. And some of the people, but like talk to those people and like bring Bird Dog to life more than just a company. And I think that goes for anybody, by the way, not just Bird Dog. That's not fair to use their name in vain, but take that chance to make it to like humanize it a bit. So it's cool. I mean, I'm jealous of that booth. It looks really, really fun. But yeah, hopefully hopefully the show went great. They had good reception for the X4. Like I said on last week, I wonder if the X4 is really there to let the X5 like outshine it, because if you're going to go with an X4, then why not just go one step further and get the X5? So I don't know if it'll be like more like a limited run of X4s. I have no idea. I don't have any information on this. The Wi-Fi thing is okay. It's a little meh. That wouldn't be for me. And I know that there are other folks that it's not for them either. But you know, the batteries, the Wi-Fi seems to lean itself towards a specific type of like run and gun market. So hopefully they know of some customers out there that are doing that, and that they'll be able to really make an impact with that camera. So yeah, I didn't see anything really else from IBC. I don't really see any major announcements. I know that April is kind of when it all happens, you know, and that's like the big time. But yeah. So I'll try and do a little bit more digging, watch a few more of these videos, and see kind of what announcements, what awards were given out, all that. But we'll go from there. All right. Well, it's 11:05. It's been an hour. Anything else that I've missed? Whoops, that you guys think I need to address? I'm going to have to figure out this network situation where I've got cameras. I've got my NDI network on this machine. Here we go. So I've got my NDI network running basically off of this computer. However, I'm having network card problems with an unidentified network. And I don't know if it's this side or that side. The switch does not seem to think that this is being sent correct information. Flow control had that disabled. Let's just see what happens if we re-enable it. Probably nothing. Looking forward to my new chair. Yeah, so nothing there. Let's go back to configure. Yes, it's fine. Advanced. Flow control, disable. Properties. Configure. What I have found, by the way, if you're configuring a network card for NDI, there are a couple of things that you're going to want to pick. First, I really do like specifying the speed of your network card. Basically means it can't be anything else. Okay, so I do like specifying, although auto negotiate is fine. It's just one of those things that I like to kind of set in stone for my network card that's operating on the NDI network. Jumbo packets, I disable that. That's always a thing that you should not be allowing on your network. However, yeah, just disable that out of the gate. The flow control usually should be disabled unless it is controlled on the switch side. Now, in this case, it is, but it doesn't seem to make any difference. Triple E, that needs to be disabled. And then what else is there on here? Priority VLANs. I'm not entirely sure that I need to change anything there. You know who's really good at this is former Bird Dog Jake. Now he's living a different life now, doing events for folks, and yeah, I need to touch base with him because it's been a minute. But basically, those are the settings that I change. I change Triple E, flow control, jumbo packets, and link speed. Those are the 4 that I change for my NDI network. Mostly because I don't want to rely on the switch doing that all on its own and the network port doing that on its own. So I make sure that it's set up that way. This may be not working right because it may be the wrong driver. So if we go here, driver details, I'm sure, yeah. Search window update for new drivers. Driver updates? Which ones? Wireless. Burnt. So nothing really there. I'll need to go to the website and see if there's a newer one. This driver came out in 2020. So, and they're moving like rocks and stuff next door right now. So there's a rumble in the background. Hopefully you can't hear that. So this driver, see, when I punch this in, I get all sorts of like weird manufacturers. So I'll need to figure that out. I may have the wrong driver installed. I don't know, but that's going to be part of this discovery phase with installing a new a new driver, a new card. And I honestly haven't really used this one very much because I never really needed to. So now that I have it as an independent NDI machine, now we're going to use it. But all good, all good. So that'll be this week's task, and we'll figure out if that makes any difference. Other than that, I think I'm good. I think that's everything I wanted to cover today. Kind of go over kind of anything outstanding. Didn't know if anybody saw anything from IBC. Next week we'll have a new chair, so that'll be fun. But we'll do something fun next week, and be sure that you stay tuned for... Oh, and I'm not even done my coffee, which means I've been talking a lot. Whew, at least it's still warm. Thanks to Ember Mugs, today's non-sponsor. But yeah, there you go. So the RE20 giveth sweet tones and taketh away distant noises. That's amazing. So you're still a fan of the RE20, are you? That's great. I can actually increase this to 0, which I should have done a long time ago. Maybe that'll make it sound a little louder for you. I didn't even check the audio, but none of you have been complaining. And Angus, you're usually the one that'll let me know if something's wrong with the audio. So, all right. So with any luck, I won't die in a fiery car wreck with my brakes. And there is a chance next week's show may be canceled. There is a health issue in my family, and so I may need to not be here next week, but just stay tuned. I'll post it online if I need to cancel. But, maybe I'll try and reschedule if I know I'm going to be out of town or something like that. Then I could try and reschedule and do something another day. And whoever is available is, of course, most welcome to join me. Absolutely. It's a great mic. I agree. I really like this microphone. Ooh, there you go. Hey, better volume. There you go. Not 100%. Actually, I know why it was turned down, because I was using it for a different application. But, I'm used to turning it up. My only real objection is that the RE20 is when you aren't speaking into it. Yes, there is that problem, because if I move it away, then it's a totally different listening experience, right? It barely registers that I'm there. So I will do my best to keep it close. Oh, something I was looking into, just throwing it out there if anybody has any ideas or wants to think about it. I was trying to figure out, so I was watching my 360 videos of my family in Alaska. And I thought the next time we go on vacation, wherever it is, whenever that is, I would love to have a system like the Rode Go system that I could clip on everybody and have 4 channels going into my camera. And I found a couple that are kind of no-name-ish. That are on Amazon. Apparently they have pretty good reviews. But I don't see anybody that has like mainstream, that is mainstream, that has 4 wireless clip-on channels, mostly for like interviews, right? So let me just pull open. Did I put it on a camera list maybe? No. So if I look up 4-channel wireless microphone system, you get all sorts of options. The one that I saw was Ceramonic, which is the same company that makes my headset system that we use over at the soundstage. So, hang on. Okay. You can still hear me. Okay, good. So the same company that makes that, they make these. Now they're kind of bulky, so it would be obvious that they were on the person. However, they do have like an active microphone noise cancellation thing. But it would be really cool to clip one on each of my family members, and then we would have just the voice audio of what myself, my wife, and my 2 kids are saying instead of everybody's audio, which is currently what we have on our family vacation to Alaska back in 22. So I was like, how can I isolate it so I could hear what my family's saying, but still have the ambient noise of the surroundings? And so keeping, the noise cancellation off so that you could hear other, background noises or whatever, but then you really pick up the voices, and those are the people that I really want to hear. So, hey, take care of yourself and your family as well. Thank you very much. We'll drive slowly for the first few miles, make sure the brakes are good. Irritated nerd noises. So I would love to figure out, and this is kind of one of the only systems that I've seen. Now, the price is a little steep too, that I've seen from a company that I'm familiar with. There are other like no-name brands that all have video reviews and they seem to work all right. But in this instance, I just think this is the only company that I'm familiar with that make these, and the reviews are good for this one too. So, because if I was doing 360 camera stuff, and then I could get all the voices of my family, I actually would prefer that over the alternative. Now, the alternative was that I use my, 3DO audio headset, but it's very bulky and draws a lot of attention. So, hey, get those new brakes bedded in properly. Yes, I did pull the truck out of the driveway and back into the driveway, so I do know they work, and they're nice and quiet. So that's first and foremost. They are working, but I do need to, check the bolts, check the lug nuts, all that stuff. So we're going to do that a little later today, or maybe this evening when the sun goes away. Anyway, there's what I've been, that's also what I've been thinking about. So when I get a new camera and I get a new, like if I were to get the X4X, whatever it's called. X4 is Bird Dog one. But anyways, a new 360 camera, because the Evo is basically end of life for me and doesn't look very good on the final rendering. So what can I do about the audio that's a little bit more inconspicuous while we are on, vacation or on a trip, that I could just turn it on, clip it on my 6-year-old, and hey buddy, off you go. And then he could just go off and play, but I would have 70 feet or 100 feet of distance that I could pick him up, and it would be reasonable. So I imagine those will work just fine. I think so. They look fairly reputable. And again, I've listened to reviews, and that seems to work pretty well. So, anyways, that's what I'm kind of thinking about. If anybody has any thoughts on that, I'd be interested to know. But bring them back next week, and I will attempt to be back next week. If I'm not going to be here, I will let you know. But take care of yourselves out there. Be well. And we'll hopefully see you in about a week on the next show. So take care of yourselves. We will see you guys all in about a week's time or less. But be well. Thanks for hanging out today. Appreciate it. Bye, guys.